Hello friends, welcome to Java IO tutorial. In this video, we are going to see how to use file input stream. First, we will learn basics of a file input stream. Then we will see how to use its read and close method. Since it's a file input stream and it involves IO operation, there will be an exception called IO exception, and when we implement the code, the IDE, here we are going to use NetBeans 8.2, and the IDE itself point out to handle this exception. File input stream reads content of file and keeps it in byte form because it's a stream. Since it's a stream and it reads the information from the file and kept in the form of stream, that means in the byte form. The stream is for reading the raw bytes. Stream means here file input stream, and we are using the stream version, and it's to read the raw byte. And since the file input stream is to read the raw bytes, it will suit well for image files and other file representation that can be read in the form of stream. This is just an example for raw bytes. There are other binary format files also. In our example, even though we use a file input stream, we will create a text file and process it using the file input stream. So here is the text input content. You can create any text file and you can save it for the demo purpose. Here I created a file called sample.txt, and here is the content for that sample.txt. The read method of a file input stream reads stream of data. Even though this is a text content, it will read it and keeps the content in the form of a stream. That means in the byte form. Let's say we have a text file. So when you read this text file using the file input stream, the content will be placed in the form of binary, or it will be in the byte form inside the string. So this is our file input stream. Then our program can read this byte representation. Skip method skips a certain number of bytes. So there are methods like read, skip, and close. So once you done with the file input stream, you can make a call to close method. And the skip method skips a certain number of bytes. That means when you are scanning the file content, so the scanning will go like this, and you will read the content byte by byte, or specific number of bytes, or even a complete content. But when you read it byte by byte, or a certain number of bytes, say 12 byte, so in chunk, if you read, you can use the skip method. Let's say the scanning is going on like this, so then you can use the skip method to skip a certain number of bytes, and after that you can start reading the content. So that's the use of a skip method. It asks you to tell how many number of bytes it needs to skip. So this is the sample application we want to create, and if you see, our form contains a button called read bytes. So this will read one byte at a time, and this will read a specified number of bytes. So you will actually specify how many number of bytes you want to read. So here 5 means it will read 5 number of bytes on each read. read all will read all the content of the file. Then this is a JText area, and we will place content read in this location, JText area. After performing the read operation, you can use the close stream button to close it. So here you can look at the button name, read byte. So that's the name we are giving, btn read byte. Read bytes, btn read bytes. Read all, btn read all. Then btn close this one. txt number of bytes, it's a JText field, and that one is here. Then JText area TA, so we call this as a text area content or a text area. So first we will declare a file input stream. So once the stream is there, then you can open a text file here. Actually, you can read any file. In our example, we are going to read the sample.txt, which we already shown in the previous slide. And if you see the notation here, this means wherever this program is running. Say for example, if I am running this application on G partition, then temp means in the root, the first folder is temp, and inside that sample.txt. So that's how we are specifying it, and it will work on any operating system. But if you want to use it for Windows, you can specify the Windows notation, C or D, like that. Or if you want this sample to work on any platform, you can use this common notation on root drive temp, then sample.txt. So that's the content, file content, and here we are creating the file input stream and storing that in the FIN reference. So file input stream, and in the constructor we are passing the text file name. Then we declare a character, and from this FIN we read the content. So this will read single byte. I mean this version, fin.read. So since it reads a single byte, 8-bit together forms a single byte, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are 2 more slot, 8 byte, and since it's in the stream format, I mean the content is in stream form. So likewise there will be chain of stream, and on each read you will be reading the 8 slot location, that means 1 byte. And we convert that as a character. Since ours is a text file, we convert it as a character, and we kept that under this variable C. After that, this is the TA, right? TA.append. Then we are converting our character in the string form and appending it to the text area. So that means this portion of code, let's say this is A, and our read byte will make use of this specific code snippet. Then if you see create a byte array with a specified length, that means here we are dealing with the second portion. So integer.parseInt txt number of bytes. So this one is the txt number of bytes, JText field, and getText, that's the method we are calling. Since it's the JText field, we are making call to getText, and we are passing that string representation into integer, and we state that as bytes to read. So if you specify here 5, we know that in one read we want to jump to 8 byte and read all the content in one stretch. That means 5 byte of information here in our example. If you put 15, then we will be reading 15 bytes of information at one read. So here if you see, we are creating a byte array with bytes to read. That means here if you take this example 5 byte, and here we are creating a new byte with 5. That means we are creating an array with 5 byte. and each one will read 8 bit of information, 8 bits of information. 1 byte is 8 bit, right? So here I'm simply taking this one, so it's dynamic 5. Here we are specifying, you can specify 4, 6 or 12, whatever you want. Right, so here our buffer is ready, and next we are making call to FileInputStream. Here if you see, there is a version of read, and here it's a overloaded version, and we supply the byte array data. Here it returns a single here it returns an integer to represent 1 byte, and we are converting it as a character. Here this version will read the content and places that inside this buffer. This is the data buffer, right? In our example, we allocate 5 slot, and each slot represents 1 byte. That means the text file content will be read and it will be kept here. Right, so after that, so we have the buffer, right, 5 byte of buffer. So from that buffer we are creating a string, then we are making call to ta.append. So on each read we will be appending 5 byte of information. Alright, so this piece of code we will be tying up with the read bytes workflow. Alright, next comes read all. Here in the read all, if you see int data equal to 0, then we are forming a while loop. This is the first part, and here is the outer part. So first fin.read, the same stuff here, and it reads 1 byte or 8 bits of information, and we are storing that in char c, the same way what we did here. Char c, then we are appending ta.append string.value of c. Whatever we are doing here, we are doing that here, but the only difference is there on each button click we will read 1 byte of information, but here on one click we will read all the information. Why? Because the loop continuously runs, and we will get -1 when end of stream is reached. End of stream here is nothing but the end of file, because it's file input stream, right? So that's all. So this one we will link it with the read all button click. Then finally we have fin.close, that we will link to the close string. So after using the file stream, we will close it. That's all here. And if you see here, in this example we are going to test how FileInputStream is working by making use of this simple application. That means we have a text file, and we will click multiple times this read byte, so that you will see how file content is appearing here byte by byte. Then we will specify some number here, and you will see when you click this multiple time, each time it will read more than 1 character. It depends what is the number you specify here. Read all reads all the file content here. That's all here. After using the operation, we will perform the close stream button, or we will click the close stream button. That's all here. Now we will go to the demo. So here is our NetBeans ID 8.2. We will create a new JFrame, and we will name it as ADV 005. 4 I am skipping. Why? Because 4 is a theory part, so to be in sync with the video playlist number or video tutorial number, I am naming it as advanced 005. Then here we are testing the file input stream. And we will put EX or example. So project, we are adding this in java.io project, and package is a tube coding examples Java ADV. So the project is created here. Okay, now we will design this form, and we need 1 2 3 4 buttons. So let's place those buttons. Next we need a text field, and we will place that text field here. Next we need a label and one more button. Next here, if you see, we need a JText area, and that is managed by the scroll pen. So what we have to do, first we'll go to container, scroll pan, and inside this scroll pan we will place text area. So drag and drop inside this scroll pan. The text area automatically occupies entire content of the scroll pan. Now we will name our control. JScrollPan default name, text area, we have the name TA. Right click, change variable TA. Read byte, and this one is read bytes. There are two more J button, btn close, btn read all, close string. Alright, so we made change to have a proper display name. Now we will change the component names. So JScrollPan default, we doesn't change that. Text area TA, I think we already did that. JScrollPan text area, we changed the name. The next one is read bytes, all those stuff if you see, just a btn is appended. So this is close stream, we have it as a btn close, btn read all. Alright, now change variable name, btn read all, and you can see here, once you change, the control name is btn read all. Now btn read byte, and you can select here as well. Once you select, you can see which one is got selected in the UI, then change the name accordingly. You can change variable name here also. Btn read bytes, and finally btn close. So next one is the text field, and the text field is named as txt name of bytes. Next comes the label and content read from file. So that's all. Our form design is over. Now we can go ahead and implement the stuff one by one. First we will click on this button, and here in the events tab, action performed, so that's the event we are handling, and here is where we will write our code. Since we want to use the same stream on all other button click, we can declare this here. So these are all the wizard or the design view generated code, and if you see, when we add the control name, the control names are displayed here, and we rename the control. Say for example, JTextArea, we renamed it as TA. All those stuffs are displayed here. Just above this, we are adding our custom member and FileInputStream, and this is from java.io package. So here you can see in G drive temp, so that's where our program also created, and it's in the G drive. So I kept in the articles folder, but since here we are going to represent that as a common notation, we will go to the constructor. So this is the constructor. Class name is adv005 file input stream example, and here we will place our code to open our file stream. So fin is the member, right? Just now we declared it under code snippet 004.1 fin file input stream, and here we are initializing it. So it is asking it to surround black with try catch. File not found exception is handled. Alright, so in the constructor itself we constructed our file input stream, and we will start using it inside the handler functions. So in the design view we asked to handle this read byte write. So btn read byte action performed, this is the handler function, and inside this handler function we perform fin.read, then we are adding the content read to the text area. So here once again it will ask to handle the exception. Surround statement, you can either surround a statement or you can surround the entire block. Here I am going with the surround block with the try catch. So here I am asking to surround the entire block, right? Why? Because if read is failed, I don't want to perform any action on append. So it's meaningful to ask surround the entire block with IO exception, or at least these two lines. Alright. Anyhow, here we asked to surround the entire block with the try catch exception. Next, we will go ahead and handle our close button click. Action performed, btn close, action performed. And if you scroll, you will be seeing a gray highlighted area. There you have to add your code. Alright, now we can go ahead and test it. Before that, we will compile our project. Now our project contains 4 files. Right click and say run file. So here is our text file content, and I am reading byte by byte, and let me click read byte once. You can see T is displaying, next H. So this is reading 1 byte at a time. Right, so now we will close this stream and we will go ahead with the second implementation. Next, we will go to our design view, and here we are going to handle action performed for read bytes. That means we are going to read more than one number of byte. So as already explained in the slide, txt number of bytes, this is the txt number of bytes, whatever you specify there, we create array. So here byte array, if you specify 5, we will be creating byte array with a length of 5 slat, that means 5 bytes to read. If you specify 10, then we will be creating byte array with a 10 slat. So once byte array is read, once again we will use fin.read, but this is a overloaded version, and we will specify our byte array. So this specific line now asking to surround black with try and catch. So we will, okay, let it be like this. Or you can handle only this specific portion also. So you have to move this try and catch black here, and so that you are protecting only these 3 statements. Alright, now we are reading the content based on this buffer. So we supply this buffer, and content will be read and placed inside this buffer, and we construct a string out of this buffer. Then we give this string to our TA text area by using the append method. So we will save all, build this once, then run the file. Alright, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 byte we want to read at a time, and if you see here, once I click read bytes, it reads this and there will be a space, and if I place my cursor, you can see by default it goes to the end of the content, right, and end of the content includes a space. That means it read 5 bytes of information. Now let me click multiple time, and you can see it is reading multiple bytes at a time, right. Now we will close the stream and we will exit the application. And if you want to run this once again, run file to increase the number of bytes. This time let me provide 15 number of bytes I want to read, and you can see how it is working now. Alright, let's close the stream and close the application, and we will go to the next implementation. Let's switch back to the design view. We implemented this one as well as close stream. Only thing that's left is read all, and so this is the default name it is giving, and if you want to change the name, you can click this and you can add a handler by providing a specific name for the handler. So read all the bytes, that's the handler. So this time we doesn't use the handler by default provided by the IDE. We just provided our name for the handler method. As already explained in the slide, here we are forming a while loop and we are reading all the content, and here we will handle surround black with a try catch. That's all. So here we handled our read all the bytes handler as well. Now we will test this once. Run file, and here this time when I click read all the file content will be read and it will be shown here. Alright, that's all here. We will close the stream. This concludes our demo. Okay, just now you watched the demo. Thank you for watching. Bye.